The sky above Earth had never looked like this before. Thousands of gleaming silver ships hung in the atmosphere, reflecting the sunlight in 1,000 directions. People everywhere stopped what they were doing. Cars skidded to a halt on highways. Planes were grounded, and smartphones captured live footage of the enormous fleet hovering over cities. Scientists, soldiers, and ordinary citizens stared upward, their mouths open in awe and fear. In New York, Dr. Lena Kapoor, a physicist specializing in extraterrestrial studies, rushed to the observation deck of her lab. She could barely believe her eyes. The ships were massive, unlike anything humanity had ever designed. Their shapes were elegant, aerodynamic, and deadly, yet there was a beauty to them, a sense of power and purpose that made her heart race. "They've arrived," she whispered to herself. "And they're not friendly tourists." Across the world, military leaders scrambled to respond. Fighter jets were deployed, but no one wanted to engage these invaders. Reports from radar stations confirmed that the ships were not Earth-made. Their technology far surpassed human capabilities. Energy shields flickered over their hulls, deflecting any attempt to scan or target them. Then came the message. It was not sent through any conventional means. There was no radio signal, no sound wave. It simply appeared, projected directly into the minds of every world leader, every major city. The words were clear, commanding, and powerful. "We are the Amazari. We have traveled across the stars seeking the strongest male in your species. Prepare your champions." The world was silent. "The strongest male?" muttered General Marco Rivera of the United Nations Security Council. "What does that even mean? Are they here to conquer us?" "No," Dr. Kapoor said, her voice trembling. "They're selecting. We are being tested." From the ships descended several figures. They were enormous compared to humans, standing over 7 feet tall with broad shoulders and strong limbs. Their skin shimmered with subtle metallic tones, and their eyes glowed faintly with intelligence and confidence. These were the Amazari, a warrior society of alien women who valued strength above all else. Their presence was intimidating, yet majestic. When they landed, the Amazari did not speak in any language humans could understand. Instead, their leader projected her thoughts into everyone's minds. "We seek a mate worthy of our society. He must be strong in body, mind, and heart. Only one among you will join us. Choose wisely." Panic and curiosity rippled through humanity. Governments argued. Scientists debated. Military commanders demanded answers. Yet no one had the authority or knowledge to refuse. The Amazari were here, and it was clear that they would not leave until their mission was complete. In Washington, D.C., the human chosen to respond to the Amazari's challenge was announced. A panel of scientists and leaders would select candidates to undergo the Amazari trials. These trials, they were told, would measure strength, intelligence, morality, and adaptability. Only one human male would survive the tests and prove worthy of joining the Amazari Society. Among the selected candidates was Arman Shah, a young man from Karachi. He was not the strongest in muscle, nor the wealthiest, nor the most famous. But he had something unusual, a sharp mind, a fearless heart, and an unshakable sense of purpose. When the official notice came to him, Arman felt fear, yes, but also a strange sense of excitement. Humanity was about to meet the galaxy, and he might be the one to show what humans were truly capable of. The Amazari did not wait for formalities. Their ships created a giant energy field over Earth, a glowing dome of light that could not be broken. Inside, the candidates were transported to a new environment, an alien landscape that defied imagination. Mountains floated above the ground, rivers glowed with bioluminescent colors, and the air hummed with strange energy. Gravity shifted subtly as they walked, challenging their balance. It was both beautiful and terrifying. The Amazari gathered the humans in a vast arena. The arena itself was alive with technology. Platforms moved beneath their feet. Walls shifted and mysterious symbols glowed on the ground. This was the first test. Arman looked around and saw other candidates, tall, muscular men who seemed confident yet nervous. Many tried to hide their fear, but it was impossible. The Amazari did not fear fear itself. They thrived on it. Then the first trial began. The Amazari projected a holographic simulation of danger. Lava poured across the ground. Massive boulders threatened to crush them, and ferocious alien creatures appeared from every side. The humans had to reach a glowing crystal at the center of the arena. It was a test of speed, agility, and courage. Armin ran, heart pounding. He was not the fastest, and he stumbled several times, but he remembered what his father had taught him. Think first, act second. Use your mind to guide your body. Instead of charging recklessly, he observed the patterns of falling rocks and moving creatures. He dodged where necessary, used debris as shields, and found the safest path to the crystal. When he finally touched it, the Amazari leader projected her thoughts into his mind. Your courage is noted. Your mind guides you well. Continue. Other candidates faltered. Some were crushed under the weight of boulders. Others panicked and fled. The Amazari whispered among themselves, intrigued. Humans were unpredictable, messy, yet full of potential. None of their previous encounters with other species had been like this. After the physical trial came the mental challenge. The humans were presented with alien machinery, devices that required both logic and intuition to operate. Instructions were minimal, symbols unfamiliar. Many gave up in frustration. Armin, however, paused and studied the machines. He experimented, failed, adjusted, and eventually succeeded. His success was not by chance. It was human adaptability. The ability to learn, to improvise, to survive under unknown conditions. The final trial of the day was the moral challenge. The humans were shown visions of themselves in danger. Some visions required self-sacrifice to save others. Others tested honesty and loyalty. Armin faced a choice. Save himself or save a fellow candidate trapped in a collapsing platform. Without hesitation, he risked his own safety and helped the other man. The Amazari observed silently. In their society, moral strength was rare. Humans, it seemed, could teach them something new. As the sun set on the alien arena, the Amazari called the humans together. They projected a message to all minds present. We are intrigued by your species. Few have shown true potential. Tomorrow the trials will continue.
Only one may be chosen. Back on Earth, news agencies struggled to report the events.
People were amazed, terrified, and hopeful. Could humanity truly be worthy of the Amazari? Could one human demonstrate the qualities of courage, intelligence, and morality that even the galaxy's strongest species could respect? Armin lay on his bunk aboard the Amazari transport ship that night. He stared at the alien ceiling, glowing with strange symbols that shifted as if alive. Fear gnawed at him, but determination burned brighter. Humanity had always been underestimated. Now he had the chance to show the galaxy what humans were really capable of. And in the observation chamber above, the Amazari leaders whispered among themselves, their expressions unreadable. One of them, the tallest and strongest, spoke softly, yet her thoughts carried to all present. This one, he is different. Perhaps the humans are not what we thought. A new era was beginning, not of conquest, not of war, but of recognition. Humanity was about to step into a larger galaxy, and the Amazari would be the first to see their true potential. And for Armin Shah, the journey had only just begun. The next day, the alien arena was alive with anticipation. The humans had been briefed. Today's trials would be harder, designed to measure more than physical strength. They would test ingenuity, decision-making, and moral courage. The Amazari did not tolerate weakness, and failure could mean elimination from the competition. Armin Shah woke early, feeling the alien atmosphere press against his chest like a weight. The floating mountains glimmered in the soft light of the planet's sun. Strange creatures moved in the distance, some crawling along glowing cliffs, others flying in patterns he had never seen. He had learned from the first day, panic would get him nowhere. Calm observation was his strongest weapon. When the human candidates assembled in the central arena, the Amazari leader appeared again, taller and more imposing than ever. Her skin shimmered like polished bronze, and her eyes glowed faintly with intelligence. She did not speak aloud. Her words echoed directly in the minds of every participant. Today you will face challenges of mind, body, and spirit. Those who cannot adapt will fail. Only one will prove worthy. The first test began. A massive chamber materialized, walls stretching high above the humans' heads. Inside, platforms floated in mid-air, each glowing with symbols that pulsed like living hearts. The floor itself was a shifting grid, tiles rising and falling unpredictably. The humans were instructed, reach the center and retrieve the orb of insight, a glowing sphere suspended in the air. But the path was treacherous and missteps could be deadly. Many candidates froze, unsure where to step. Armin crouched, observing the movement of the platforms. He noticed a pattern. Some tiles sank slowly, others collapsed instantly. He calculated timing, leaped carefully from one to another, using his weight to balance on tiles that teetered. Midway, a platform tilted violently, throwing him off balance. He twisted in midair and grabbed a floating chain, swinging to the next tile. Behind him, other candidates fell. Some panicked and stumbled. Others tried to rush, only to slip into the abyss below. The Amazari watched silently, intrigued. Humans were unpredictable. Their instincts sometimes led to failure, but their creativity often saved them. Finally, Armin reached the orb of insight. As he touched it, the chamber transformed. Walls shifted, forming complex shapes, tunnels opened, and strange lights flashed. The first test was not just about reaching the orb. It was about adaptability under pressure. The Amazari whispered among themselves. He sees patterns where others panic. He survives by thinking, not brute force. Next came the intellectual trial. The humans were led into a library-like chamber, filled with holographic screens, alien glyphs, and strange devices. Each human was given a puzzle. Operate the machines, unlock the knowledge within, and retrieve the crystal of cognition. The glyphs made no sense at first. Symbols rotated and changed, glowing in colors humans had no names for. Some candidates froze, unable to interpret the alien logic. Armin, however, stepped closer, studying each glyph carefully. He noticed patterns, repeated symbols, subtle color shifts, sequences that formed logical chains. He experimented, pressing one symbol after another, adjusting his actions based on feedback. The machine hummed, whirred, and released pulses of light. Slowly, the crystal of cognition lifted into the air. Armin caught it. The Amazari observed closely. He uses reasoning and learning, one whispered. Not by instinct alone. Humans are strange creatures. They survive with their minds. The final trial of the day tested morality and courage. The humans were shown visions, realistic simulations of danger. In one, a platform collapsed, trapping another human. In another, a choice appeared. Take a safe path that led to success or risk everything to save someone else. Armin hesitated for only a moment. His decision was instinctive. He could not leave another human to perish if he could help. He navigated the collapsing platforms, supporting others, guiding them to safety. At one point, a massive energy barrier threatened to crush him, but he calculated its timing and sprinted through at the last moment, helping the others follow. The Amazari leader observed silently, her thoughts projecting into his mind, courage and compassion. Rare in your species, you value more than yourself. While Armin helped others, some candidates faltered. One tried to take the safe path, abandoning a fellow human. Another hesitated, paralyzed by fear. The simulations adapted dynamically, testing every response. When the final trial ended, the humans were exhausted. They collapsed on the ground, gasping for air. The arena shifted back to its original form. The Amazari leader addressed them directly. You have all shown skill, but skill alone is not enough. Strength of body is meaningless without strength of mind and spirit. Only one of you embodies what we seek. Armin felt a mix of relief and pride, but he knew the trials were far from over. The Amazari were not finished. Their evaluation was ongoing, and the next challenge would be harder. Later, in a quiet observation chamber, the Amazari leaders convened. Their discussion was not spoken aloud, but projected in thought. He is not the strongest in muscle, said one, but his mind is sharp and his heart. It is unusual. Unusual indeed, replied another.
He adapts.
He protects others. He sees patterns we would not expect. Could humans possess more potential than we believed? Their curiosity grew. None of the species they had observed across the galaxy had combined intelligence, courage, and compassion in such a way. Armin Shah was different. He represented something new, the unpredictable strength of humanity. Meanwhile, Armin rested, thinking about the day. The alien trials were terrifying yet exhilarating. He had seen how fear could paralyze others, and how creativity could overcome impossible obstacles. Humanity, he realized, had always survived against overwhelming odds. Now that resilience was on display before the galaxy. As night fell on the alien world, Armin stared at the glowing sky. He thought of Earth, of friends, family, and the people who had laughed at his dreams of exploring the stars. He felt a surge of determination. If he could succeed in these trials, it would not just be for himself. It would be for humanity. The next day promised even greater challenges. The Amazari were preparing a trial that would combine physical danger, mental complexity, and moral choice simultaneously. It would push the candidates to the brink. Many would fail. Only one could succeed, but Armand did not fear. He had learned that humans were underestimated for a reason. Their greatest strength was not brute force or technology, but adaptability, courage, and the refusal to give up. Even in the face of alien power, humans could endure. Humans could survive. Humans could excel. And as he prepared for the next trial, he felt the presence of the Amazari watching him. They were no longer just observing. They were learning. Humanity was teaching them something new, something unexpected, and that realization filled Armand with quiet pride. The trials were far from over, but one thing was certain. The galaxy had not seen the last of humanity's potential. Armand Shah, a simple human from Karachi, was about to prove that the strongest species was not always the one with the biggest muscles or the deadliest weapons, but the one with courage, creativity, and heart. The first 2 days had ended. The Amazari had begun to understand that humans were not just prey or subjects to test. Humans were something more, unpredictable, clever, resilient, and for Armand, the next day would bring the greatest challenge yet, a trial that would test every skill he had and reveal whether a human could truly match the strength of the Amazari.